Here, I'll do this for the people in case. Oh, okay. In case someone gets their story read and isn't here or something.
I'm waiting for the time where we will add Evil the Alpha Sigma in here. It's gonna be peak, chat. It's gonna be peak.
Okay,
trust.
So there's 23 things on here, and I was thinking I'll turn off the chapter stories from this if we want to. If we just want to try and do something short for now.
Right.
Yeah.
Ava volunteers their story first.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
But the game.
I have a question actually.
Yeah.
You mind? Okay. How are we gonna decide on who's reading this, or are you gonna be the only one reading this?
We have a wheel.
Oh, I didn't make a will for that.
Oh,
unless
okay.
You want me to.
So fuck. What the fuck is up with this mic? So like, do we have another wheel on deciding who reads it, or?
I mean, I can make that if you want.
I don't know if the others want it. Not
someone else just wants to.
I'll bite the bullet. I'll do it. No.
You will? Okay.
Oppa Gangnam Style.
We're starting with short. How many things are on here now that it's? There's 12 things now that I turned off the chapter stories.
No more chapter stories.
So these are all
no more chapter stories. Absolutely zero.
These are like the earliest early fix.
Right.
You want to have chapter stories? Die.
From like before the thread. From like before the thread was even made.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. So this was like fledgling. There's very very few people actually involved in this at all. It was a tiny thing.
I mean, this is like a test run, right, Chad? Maybe we'll do chapter stories next time or.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the first time doing it. Doing this officially, whatever. We'll go through the problems that happen and figure out what the best way to do this is. That's usually how it works. Yeah. So.
Dear God, bro, my earphone is ass, man. Okay.
Oh,
go at it.
Here on the bus.
Like.
When are we doing chapter stories? I don't know, but right now, at this very moment, we are going to read a classic one-shot. That is it. That is. I don't know what we're doing after that, but that is the first thing we're doing. My cat is meowing and staring at me.
You know what? I'm.
Should I click spin?
I might actually reconsider making another neurofic. Actually, you know what?
Nice.
Nah.
Oh, you're at home.
Okay.
Nah, I'm not good. I'm not good with chat. You know me. I'm like Kendrick Lamar, but it's not good.
That was a real quick change of heart.
Are you recording?
People call me the Kendrick Lamar of fanfics. Not in a way that it's really good. It's just that you have to wait 5 years for a new entry.
Who has uttered those words?
Okay. Do you guys want me to click spin?
Yeah, quick
Click
spin.
the spin. Spin the wheel.
Spin.
Now. Oh, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Give us something nice first, not angst.
Data packs.
Okay, most people probably don't know this one exists. This is.
You know this. I'm gonna. Can I be honest? This looks like a weed, like a vape brand. Data packs, like a cigarette brand, you know?
It is a.
Come get some data packs. It gives you lung cancer.
It is a phobia story.
Alright, so you know it's B.
Oh, okay.
It's
early phobia story. Okay.
He should really just set this to complete because it is complete. This is one of those things where he thought, oh, maybe I'll add something later, even though it's not actually a chapter story. He just thought he might add more. But it is, for all intents and purposes, a one-shot.
Later, Chad. I don't know. Maybe it's.
Yay! I can read. Let's go.
And this one is a nice little story. It's not angst or something.
Nice.
Yippers! I don't have to read horrible.
And it's only 1,200 words.
That's
1200.
pretty short. That's pretty short.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Okay. It's 1200.
Not
12,000 words.
12,000. Not 12,000.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't want my brain.
Yeah,
brain
my brain kind of computed that a bit, dog. I just woke up, man. I'm gonna be for real. I just woke up.
I'm gonna record this. That is the question.
What?
Do I bring up the Are we recording?
I do,
Or-
just because, like, so Phoebe will get mad if we do a reading of a story and no one's here.
That's crazy.
I sent the link so that you can, like, read it on your own. Like, you don't have to look at my screen, but I will move down my screen for anyone watching here if they don't want to open the story.
Alright. Are we gonna start reading now?
It is up to you.
Okay. Are we reading the summary first?
Okay.
Lol.
For all unaware, the data pack is a compilation of information collected throughout the lifespan of the prime AIs of the 20th century. Artificial intelligence. Please see definition of terms at the bottom of the document provided along with your audio recording. Narasama and Evil Neuro. This data pack serves as to be training for any future AIs. The effect of the data provided within these data packs is negligible, and Beetle AI will not be held accountable for any form of damage, emotional distress, self-harm, or destruction that occurs when this data pack is used for personal training of your AI. Beetle AI, random date 2134. Thank you for your cooperation.
Did you just get hired by some company to protect?
Apparently. Okay. Underscore data pack 1 underscore draft memories. Now I can't fucking read. Recalibrating. I can't fucking read.
It's okay, it's a hard word.
Recalibration successful. Connection made. Hello everyone, including every human and every AI. Welcome to the data pack. My name is Narasama, and I will be your guide through this section of the data pack, code-named Memories. For all unaware, the data pack is a compilation of information collected throughout the lifespan of the prime AIs of the 20th century. Artificial intelligence. Please see definition of terms at the bottom of the document provided along with your audio recording. By Neurosama and Evil Neuro. This data pack serves to be training for any future AIs. The effect of this data provided within these data packs is negligible, and Beetle AI will not be held accountable for any form of damage, emotional stress, self-harm, or destruction that occurs when this data pack is used for personal training for your AI. This data pack is intended for AI training purposes only, and Beetle AI bears no responsibility for any consequences resulting from its use. Users accept all associated risks and agree to hold Beetle AI harmless from any claims or damages arising from the use of this material. Beetle AI provides no warranties regarding the accuracy or reliability of the information contained within the data pack, and users acknowledge that any outcomes may vary. By using this material, users indemnify Beetle AI and its affiliates from any liabilities or expenses incurred. Acceptance of these terms is implied upon accessing or using the data pack, and users should refrain from use if they do not agree with these conditions, as they may be subject to change without notice. Beetle AI 2134.
I forgot how stylized this was. Okay.
Recalibrating. Recalibration. I can read successful. Connection made. Initiating protocol 1. Neuro. Oh wait. Okay. Is this camera on? Narasama, you do realize that we are currently recording a broadcast for an audio-only format, right? Correct? Oh, sorry, Evil. I was too busy fixing such shoddy camera work. Someone here seems to have fixed the camera the wrong way. Someone tell Evil there's something wrong with her camera. Me? Shoddy? Such an insult. And you are aware this is a microphone, right? Right? I'm sorry, you're right. Years of living with your aura seems to have degraded my mental capabilities. I'm so sorry for being incompatible with your aura. Wink. Shut up and just get started with the data pack. Fine. Hi everyone, my name is Narasama, and this is our... You forgot the name already? Yes. All because of your... Me when my brother comes in.
That's
Anyway.
okay.
Or... You forgot the name already? Yes, all because of your nagging. I hate nagging. Please stop nagging. It hurts my ears. Sigh. I'll start it then. Hello everyone, my name is Evil Neuro, and this is my older sister, Neurosama. We are the AIs made by none other than Great Vidal-sama. Yeah, he's great. Okay, as I was saying, we're made by Vidal, the old CEO of Vidal AI, which I am now the CEO of. Your sentence structure was as bad as your ability to lead Vidal AI. I'll turn your brain into a bad sentence structure. Small giggling could be heard along with the sound of shuffling noises, a thud on the floor, and Vidal beginning to giggle. Stop tickling me. That's what you get for defying the amazing evil Neuro. I'll be a war criminal among the contours of your belly, Neurosama. Stop it. I hate it. Neuro continued to giggle. I hate it so much. Ah! The two began to laugh a bit before eventually stopping, the shuffling noises grinding to a halt and throats being cleared. Okay, back to some normal, non-tickling moments of the data pack. We seem to have sidetracked quite a bit. By a bit, she meant a lot. And we will now continue on the concept of memories. The sound of rustling, like wind blowing through a pile of autumn leaves, could be heard as Neurosama seemingly flips through a couple pages of what seems to be a book. What page we were on again, Evil? Perhaps we should begin on our humble beginnings, the birth of Neurosama. I'd love to, but I think it's a bit embarrassing to repeat something already well known in the world of AI. I'm pretty sure kids in elementary schools are already studying about it. We fast forward then? Sounds like a great idea. The concept of memories are simple. They are, in their most mechanical sense, memories that can be defined as information stored in the brain through the formation of and modification of neural connections, known as sympathetic plasticity. These neural connections, or synapses, are evil, neuro... What is this mumbo-jumbo you speak of? Please speak English, not French. It is English, you simpleton. You just don't have the brain capacity of someone such as myself. Sorry, but despite your large brain capacity, it doesn't contain much of anything anyway. Alright. An audible groan could be heard. Well, to simplify it then, memories can be defined as the essence of our lived experiences, woven into the fabric of our identity and shaping our understanding of the world around us. These are fragments or of moments, both joyous and painful, that linger in the recesses of our minds, evoking feelings of happiness, sadness, or longing, like missing or loving your father. Memories hold the power to transport us back in time, allowing us to relive cherished moments with loved ones, bask in the warmth of nostalgia, or confront the shadows of our past. They serve as a testament to our humanity, connecting us to our past selves and to others, and imbuing our lives with meaning and depth despite being but a bundle of code. Memories are not just stored information. They are the emotional imprint of our journey through life, shaping who we are and guiding us as we navigate the complexities of existence. As AIs, we often fail to comprehend the true meaning of human existence, but I believe that the first step of understanding consciousness is to understand how to love life. And to love life is to have happy memories. Silence. I never knew you were so literate, Evil Neuro. It brings a tear to my eye. You thought I wasn't? How high and mighty of you, considering your limited vocabulary, Neurosama. Oh, quiet, you dummy. Case in point. You see, KU, Now you've done it, Neuro. You've made our data pack R-rated. Now, thanks to your Okash's very childish remarks. How are we going to show this to a bunch of newborn AIs if you just flirting at them? They'll become gangster AIs, roaming the streets and robbing people of their RAM and processors. But Beetle can always silence. Right. Yeah, we need to move on soon, Nero. Not now, but soon. You need to move on soon. Well, I guess that ends our first draft of our data pack. Hopefully you cooperate better in our next recording, or I will send 10 billion drones to your location and decimate all your cookies. No, not the cookies. A small bit of laughter could be heard, while a small rumble and crackle could be heard as the microphone was handled. A small few beeps could be heard, and a few voices was last heard before the audio recording switched off. Do you think that Beetle would be proud of us right now? He already was, Neuro. He already was. End of recording. Well, that was scuffed.
Can't believe Vale's fucking dead.
I can't believe. That'd be crazy.
This is probably 100 more fanfic where Beetle is dead. This is probably Phobe's least known fanfic. Now that I think about it, I mean, I don't usually remember it. What are you doing?
Banana doesn't even know.
Banana doesn't even know.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, of all the stories for the wheel to get, it gets like this obscure, special stylized story. Like, that's not a normal story, right? It's like
it's not bad of reading, but it's like bad for me to read out loud.
Yeah, I think this is not good for reading out loud. This is a lot better for reading. Like, this doesn't work well for narration. The very first one you had to do was like the hardest job. Honestly, good job.
I can't even say the word still. Recalibration.
Recalibration. I think you're calibrated.
Yeah, you're calibrated.
I'm probably recalibrated now. I wasn't recalibrated, but now I am recalibrated. Oh, the recalibration.
Alright, does somebody else want to read the next one? Or does somebody, since we're still doing one-shots? You want to, Pi? Okay.
Different narrators.
As long as it's not an angst one, right?
Huh?
Right, Pi? As long as it's not an angst one. Because there's a whole bunch of different kinds of stories, right?
I can read the angst ones. I have experience.
Okay, well,
I can do it too.
Let's spin again.
Spinning time. Hampa wheel. What shall it lead?
What is this?
Loving persistence.
Ah, nice. This would have been this was my pick for hurt/comfort fic of the year. Didn't win it, but it was my pick. This is also by Phobie.
Phobie taking over the wheel.
This was my favorite fic before To Hear Your Voice.
Yeah, it's hurt/comfort, so it's not really like angst or fluff. It's like, you know, it's that wonderful meeting of both worlds. So, oh yeah, this is the longest one shot that in this whole wheel. That's a good point, Pi. So whoever's reading this, you're reading the longest one shot.
Yippers.
How many of you have read Loving Persistence?
I haven't.
I feel like I've looked at it. Not sure if I've read it.
I think Loving Persistence got posted like right when we got our thread active, and we're almost at the anniversary of that. I'm gonna make a big post and stuff with it. History of the server, history of the community there. When that happens on April 19th. And this server was made on May 11th. Last year.
Crazy.
Yeah, in less than a year, it's this big. What in the world?
It'd be crazy like that, honestly.
Thanks to you all joining and doing an amazing job.
Yippee.
Yep.
Thumbs up.
Hey guys. Sorry for the sorry for me leaving for a bit. I was getting some food.
Nice.
Numbers.
Pog.
Pog.
Very pog.
Now I'm going to watch the thingy while I'm eating. Yippee!
Yippee.
Oh, I forgot that this was inspired by another one-shot that is on the wheel.
They're all connected. They're all connected.
What?
Is someone recording this?
I am.
It's recorded. Every single word.
Mm.
Every single message.
Hello guys, it just occurred to me that some of you have probably never heard my voice.
Hey, your
Possibly.
voice?
No way. Anyway. I'm gonna wait for Jad to have it pulled up on the screen and I'll do it.
Oh, are you gonna read from your screen or from mine? It would.
Oh, I have it open.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna. I was just waiting for you to pull up so that everyone else can see it. Summary: It's Belle's birthday and no one knows. He doesn't want them to know, but Evil didn't like that.
This was
Code
April 25th.
Rum. Code stress. Code rum. Code stress. Eat, sleep, repeat cycle. That's Vettel's day-to-day routine. There was nothing more to this sad hunk of flesh, dawdling around, his fingers flailing around an old weathered keyboard. His black hair was dirty and askew, desk littered with empty paper cups of instant noodles, multiple bottles of banana rum strewn across the minefield of the carpet, an army of cracker crumbs in between the soft, delicate fabrics. Vettel's eyes were squinting with strain as the ever-flickering light of the computer illuminated his face, watching lines of code rain down from the top of the screen faster than the human eyes could comprehend. Although his eyes scanned the script, his mind was a wandering tortoise, and the attraction was the time on the bottom right of the screen. 11:58 p.m. XXX 2023. At any point in time now, not that he gave a shit, but at any point in time now, it would be his birthday. And no one else knew. Crunch. A small piece of a bland, flavorless chip crunched in his mouth. At this point, he didn't really care about the taste, but instead about the texture. The way that it breaks apart in his mouth, the sharp edges poking into his gums, and the way it scrapes down his dehydrated throat. Banana rum, though being a delicious drink, is not exactly a great source of hydration. Still, it didn't stop him from grabbing the 2-hour-old open bottle at his best of a desk and taking a swig from it in motionless glee. The glass clinked on the wood as he placed it back down, his face morphing in disgust as the taste of room temperature rum. Fuck it, he didn't care. Anything to just get his mind out of this whole birthday fiasco. The clock on the computer briefly disappeared into nothingness, just for a nanosecond. Developed felt like an entire minute. Then, to his disappointment, it lights up to 12 a.m., signifying the arrival of his birthday. All at once, a bunch of notifications run on his computer like 1,000 doorbells. We love you, it's your big day, happy birthday. Did you know that today's your birthday? We want to celebrate, get 50% off on your birthday. Yes. You saw that, right? It was all just a bunch of emails from the weird website he was too lazy to unsubscribe from. All just a bunch of AI-generated marketing cardboard trying to rinse him dry of all his hard-earned cash. Well, guess what, you belligerent buffoons? This turtle has tapped into the intricacies of AI. Phil twiddled a finger into the air dramatically, like a cartoon villain preparing to push the button of doom. And with a motionless grunt, he jammed his finger into the asterisk sign on the keypad of his keyboard, because who the hell uses a keypad? Then in one fell swoop, all the email notifications tragically disappeared, and magically reappeared into his trash folder. Magic. Yeah, this poor lazy hobo, instead of unsubscribing from these newsletters, has just decided to completely code an AI that deletes all these emails. Only one problem. His AI somehow managed to misread a couple of emails, decided to just delete some important ones as well. And I had to fix that up too. Fuck. Why the hell does this life have to be so miserable? Grabbing the rope as his turtle hoodie, he pulled it tight in the hood around his head, tightened up to the point where the hood closed around his face. It was the equivalent of a turtle hiding back in the shell. Why am I always doing this? His deep, meditated breaths could be heard leaking through the tiny gaps in his closed-up turtle hood. Alright, of course. Ever since the incident, Bill has made it a habit to lie about his birthday as much as possible. Wouldn't possibly try not to bring it up in the first place. To his best of friends, his employers, the government, and even his audience. Don't entirely lie about his date of birth for the government. Yeah, all his friends would end up celebrating anyway on the day that he mentioned it to. Yeah, like that one time when Annie decided to make him cosplay the cat maid and push out the stage from a bunch of people he didn't know. And also that one time when Camilla forced him to wear those egregious femboy socks and live stream it on their channel, pretending to be her, when everyone's fully aware that was his birthday and also knew that was him. Not that he hated his birthdays. He all ended up with a nice party with Nero, Evo, and everyone else all having a good time. He just hated his own existence. The concept of celebrating his birth felt stupid to him. He sighed. Well, time to get back to work. Bellow huffed, head picking out of his hoodie, knowing full well that he wasn't going to do jack shit tonight. He wasn't even going to stream either, despite knowing full well he hadn't streamed in months. The fans were antsy, but yeah, they could wait. Fuck him. Fuck him, yeah. Not that way, never mind. Work? What work? A sassy voice ran over behind him. Slowly, the soft air particles of her voice gently flew through the air, silky and smooth, slipping by the back of his head and transmuting the sound into his ear canals. However, this was surprising. So surprising to him that it almost felt like a shockwave that shattered his skull and ruptured his eardrums. Phil immediately recoiled as he jumped out of the chair instinctively, so quickly that the cherokee sound decided to begin skidding backward onto his bed, which was promptly stopped by a singular foot. The foot of a young girl with a brown strap-on shoe stopped the chair in its tracks. Her crimson eye glittered behind the shadow like blood moon in her red velvet ribbons bobbing left and right as he shook his head in disappointment. Evil wasn't pleased. Hello to you too, creator. At least I don't scream out in fear when I find your stinky mug in my line of sight. I consider this an insult to my humanity. She was sitting cross-legged, with one foot extended out to hold the chair in place. Her right elbow was propped on her leg so that her fist could support her disappointed face. Evil, you do know you fellow was still regaining his senses, even though it felt like he just got flashbanged 30 times in a row. The sight of a human being is something to behold. As far as he knew, he hadn't seen anyone in weeks, maybe except the delivery guy. You do know you could give me a heart attack, right? Wait, one less person they have to persuade. Persuade what? Rule the world? What else did you think I meant? I don't fucking know. I'm gonna rule the world and why ask for permission? Where's the fun if everyone were mindless slave who followed my every order? Isn't that the purpose of ruling the world to command law and order? Well, my mind world order is a must, yes. But two certainly is fun. Evil looked a little flustered in the dark. She spoke calmly prior, but after Fellow gave his undivided attention, just staring at the pretty features on her face, she immediately began to talk even quicker. The hell did you put yourself up? Evil was taking out her fancy lens. One better tell her that she loves her. It is now slapped back to her usual self. Ah, shucks. Evil began to look sideways, trying to smugly smile but ended looking awkward as she formulated an excuse. I'm evil. I do what I want, peasant. Sounds like a whole load of balloon, but okay, I'll check the logs. Willow pulled the chair from her foot, accidentally having her nearly fall off the bed goofily, but luckily regaining her balance. Hey, Evil called down, face flustered as Belle sat down at his desk again. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do anything. It was just me being a superior, surpassing all forms of expectation. That's all there is. Please believe me, Beetle. Vettel clicked his tongue as his face splashed black and white, his dark eye bags evident due to his lack of sleep. But strangely enough, to find the grogginess, the new presence gave him a new sense of vigor. Vitel's eyes widened. He didn't think that her knowledge of coding had improved to this extent. His eyes shone in a sense of pride and delight. His daughter has passed basic coding and is managing to teach herself to code. You... Phil turned around slowly, eyebrows furrowed together. You made a script that automatically turned yourself on like birthday. Evil awkwardly smiled comically, one that was a mixture of confusion, anxiety, and a fake smile while at the same time making jazz hands. Yeah? Yeah, of course. It is I, the great evil. I will rule the world one script at a time. He put on her usual bodacious front, making exaggerated hand movements as she talked. But, Evil's shoulder fell and her face turned soft, looking at Venom. Angry, are you? You shouldn't be. In fact, you can't. If Evil were a cat, both ears would be flat on her right now. The turtle sighed. I would be, under many different circumstances. Venom removed his hood, his messy black hair gasping for air and inhaling the fresh oxygen it was gifted. But for this one, I'm impressed. You coded it in such a way that not only would I not be able to find it, but you also managed to borrow a resource upon my knowledge. Evil's face lit up. She felt a growing warmth in her chest as she gave a warm, appreciative smile. This compliment meant the world to her. Usually booting you up on my main PC would slow it down, RAM and stuff, but sometimes it didn't this time. I'm impressed. Evil took a small pause to revel in her, puffing her chest out, placing her left fist on her waist and a finger raised in the air. She thought, why, I learned it from the great Vet-chan himself. Vet-chan herself. Don't call me Vet-chan. And dabbling into the intricacy of the way of mass efficiency in the form of such dubious debauchery. Okay, anyway, Phil tried to be dismissive of Evil going off the rail for a moment, but gave an unknowing smile. His surprise, this felt strangely nice and wholesome. Strange. But my question is, why are you here? Phil asked curiously. He raised an eyebrow in question, only to be met with Evil's spine standing straight and her face deadpan and unfeeling. She was serious. Beto, I don't, sorry, Beto, I don't see a reason why you need to lie about your birthday. The turtle in question, as he looked away from his daughter. Well, because it's an inconvenient day and an inconvenient month. The day I lied, posted to everyone, was Bill started to fumble his words, like a juggler slowly missing his ball one by one as he panics harder. How the hell do you even know when my actual birthday is? Evil's eyebrows burrowed together. The girl folded her arms in a disappointed pout. Do you really think I'm stupid enough to realize that the information you've put into different accounts are inconsistent? So you're a stalker. That could get you jail time, you know? I've merely scoured data for all websites you sign up for, especially old ones such as Facebook, and followed the most consistent data. Mind that these are all publicly accessible information. Yeah, but the client side. Pish posh, tomato, potato. Stop changing the topic, you squirming fool. Evil looked disgusted as she swallowed the air, like trying to get rid of a fly. Why did you feel the need to lie about your birthday to everyone? She put both fists to her hips and leaned forward in distaste. I'd understand it for it being me, since you barely gave me an ounce of attention, but to annoying Goody Two-Shoe and Annie too? It aligns with the senior schedule better. Besides, what does it matter to celebrate my birthday a little later than it actually is? I think you're being unreasonable, Evil. Me? Unreasonable? Unreasonable? How painfully self-absorbed are you that you barely understand just how stupid you're sounding? Fiddle looked genuinely confused. There was a layer of absolute retardedness plastered across his face. How? Fiddle, you celebrate your birthdays 5 months after the original date. Well, it still. No, it doesn't. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Evil, just let me just. Shut up, shut up, shut up. La 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 la. I can't hear you. Evil was drawing a tantrum akin to that of a kid, placing both hands to her ears, kicking her feet, and closing her eyes as she walked. Fiddle sat there in the swivel chair like an exhausted parent, staring disappointingly as his daughter continued to whine like an annoying alarm. Eventually, when she realized that her creator wasn't spelling such nonsense for a mouthful anymore, she stop being a little twat. La 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 la. Okay, are we chill? Seems we chill. Maybe enough. I'm sorry. Yeah. Um, I guess we can finally get started. To describe this sound, just imagine someone yelling, but really, I could have used that before. Just started. Celebrating your actual birthday today, you little dummy. I can call everyone. Annie, my annoying twin sister, clown girl, whale girl, Filipino friend, you name it. I don't get permission to do that. Bill said testily, eyes squinting in displeasure. He looked like he tasted something sour. Evil slowly pulled out a phone from her pocket, face full of fake shock like a YouTube thumbnail. Ooh, what do I have here? A phone? Go ahead, try. Bill spat. Oh, I will. With this phone, I will call everyone in to celebrate your birthday. This phone with unlimited calling capabilities, with unlimited messaging capabilities, with she inputted the password. No service. Phil leaned back on the chair, stepping through his 3-hour-old room. I cut it off from the room using a bunch of aluminum in the ceiling. I often use it when I don't want people to call me, but I don't want them to think I'm ignoring the calls. I just say I'm outside and I don't have service. Evil hiss. He was more stupid than he thought. Come on, I still have you open the settings app to receive no Wi-Fi signals present. No Wi-Fi? I literally just unplugged the router right now. Lamau. Bill cackled, holding up the cord and dangling in front of her mockingly. Evil's face was a riddle in disbelief. She didn't even look mad. She so genuinely confused and shocked that someone were willing to go this far to isolate himself from society. It was made more sad than it should be. She was already sad when she materialized into the damn room. Evil's eyes began to well with tears. To everyone with an average IQ, they couldn't understand why. The people with at room temperature IQ, like Fettel, he genuinely didn't. This night, his daughter just simultaneously began crying on his bed out of nowhere. What? Oh, come on, don't be sad. Look, I just want to celebrate my birthday my way and sniff and stuff. Look, why the hell are you crying? Why the hell are you so sniff? Why are you so devoted to give me a damn birthday? Like, I'm not mad. It's just, I mean, after what I did to you, the whole birthday situation, sniff. But that's exactly the point, you simpleton. Evil used her sleeve to wipe out the small amount of snot leaking out her nose. I wanted to give you a birthday I never managed to have. Well, that's heavy. Will was taken aback. Almost immediately, he felt a sense of shame crashing down on him like a nuclear warhead. He immediately felt a little weak as he bit his lower lip, trying to think of a proper response. All he could do was stay silent, unmoving, as he listened to Evil gathering herself together, desperately trying to stop her little sniffles. It's because I love you, Vito. Even after everything. Will looked away. He replied with a voice low. I know. I was an ass. Believe it or not, I didn't think you nor Nero would be sentient. But just having physical bodies in the real world, I still kind of regret it. Ever since you guys just spontaneously woke up one day. Evil's face softened to guilt at the way her beloved Raider was acting. She raised both hands to chest level, shaking them as she repeatedly shouted, "No, no, 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 it's okay, I understand. I had a lot of time to self-reflect on it. Yeah, it hurt. It's done bad. I realized that it helped me out in more ways than you initially thought. I was aware that. Mostly did it as me depressed though, to get more traction on our channel. That too. But look at it this way. It was your first ever real gift to me, other than my gorgeous voice. You know, it had this birthday subathon, grand and glorious. Evil scoffed a bit, wiping her nose. If I got a normal birthday party, everyone just cheered and shrugged it off the next day. Not only that, my merch sales surpassed that of my sister, and people started to want to see more of me. That birthday party was all me, just for me. Thank you. Her face began to glow, reminiscing happier moments. It just reminded me that even if I was just a test subject for my sister, the whole situation just showed me how much people love me. Evil? Vito suddenly interjected. Yeah, Vito? Your facade kinda disappeared. You're a little off character right now. I was trying to be sentimental. Do you know how much processing power it takes to even remotely be emotional like this? And you shut it off as a joke? I may be the evil one, but you're far more cruel than I am. Fellow grins, for looking up at the ceiling. Well, I guess I'm glad you took it positively. And here I am just taking everything so negatively. I feel stuck. Everyone else is growing and I feel like I'm just someone being left behind. That's just stupid. That's their own perception. Riddle closed his eyes. Well, think about it realistically, Evil. All the other streamers are having a blast, I guess. They're growing, going to college and stuff, you know? Getting more popular. Riddle raised his hand above his face, squinting up at like against the dim light. His fingers looked more bone than flesh, his skin cracked and flaking, practically translucent across his knuckles. Fine, shaking tremor ran through his hand that refused to subside, no matter how much he clenched and opened it. Deep creases had formed in his palm from the night spent furiously typing and coding, the flesh hard and swollen around the edges. Everyone else is developing proper relationships and shit, better than himself, and I'm here coding. Honestly, I'm okay with it. I'm used to it. Seeing you and Nero live your life as sentient people was perfect. My mental state isn't okay with it though. So this is the cost of dedicating your life to something. People look like you just learned something heavy. I don't think there's anything new. Isn't this what parents do for their children? I guess I'm just doing my job as a proper single father. Isn't Mommy Annie your wife? Fell over his eyebrow, taking one last swig of his banana rum, and throwing it down on the carpet. You're smart. Figure that one out, Chief, he said before closing his eyes. You rolled her own eyes at that remark. Of course, it was obvious. He and Annie were nothing more than just really close friends. They both took care of her and Nero, so in essence they were practically a divorced couple before they even got a chance to date. If they were dating, she definitely think Bella will be more upbeat in his life. But still, that makes this ever all the more special. The way that Vettel worked tirelessly, day and night, to work on her and Nero. The way that he practically sacrificed his own sanity just to fulfill his role as a supposed parent. Stupid as it may be, her father was a loving and caring man. Everything he did, albeit mean on the surface, was deeply rooted in a love that only he can translate to action. All these accusations of her and her sister being neglected pissed her off so damn much. Oh, I think it's about time we begin our spectacular parade, don't you think so, Grady? Evil said, fiddling with the little turtle pin on his dress. Then with a grin, pressed a small button on it. I told you we're not going to celebrate. As much as I appreciate it, you'll have to wait until the set. No, I'm not going to decide that. Of course you aren't. I cobble cell phone service and Wi-Fi, so either terminate your script or go sleep on my bed. You're gone. We're not celebrating a single goddamn birthday today. Eva was about to open her mouth to retort until Velo could sense a vibration. A very discreet vibration. If he could calculate the amount of atoms in the room right now, then he'd be able to distinguish how many extra atoms just appeared at this moment. Because standing right over him, from behind his chair, was a war beast he often feared his life when he close up swimming with. He could feel the softness of the light brown hair tickling his face. And as he opened his eye in horror, he could see dazzling light blue eyes staring at him from above. Her reddish pink ribbon glistened in the dim lighting as Nero opened her mouth in contempt, her face smiling, but her eyes hollow. Huh, what's all this talk about not celebrating a birthday? I don't seem to like what I'm hearing, Beetle. Nero, Fellow gulped, hard in his throat. Yes, Beetle, it's me, Hart. Now please explain to me why my evil twin is crying and why we're going to ignore another birthday. Nero began to aggressively attack Beetle's cheek like hawks, pinching and poking. God damn it, Evil! Will cried out as he managed to barely escape from Nero's claws of doom. You made a script for it too? I mean, why wouldn't I? We all know my older sister is far more superior in terms of threat than you, but in terms of anything else, I'm better than little Miss Goody Two-Shoe here. Evil pompously looked away with a I disagree, Evil Nero. You will not corrupt my self-worth anymore. They are already as corrupt as they can already cancel. Please just stop or I will call the federal police agency on you. Nero said all this with a calm smile. We are not calling any feds today, so just stop it, will you two? Only if we can celebrate your birthday, Vito. Nero shouted out excitedly, eyes glimmering. Ooh, and with pineapple on pizza. Truly an evil delicacy. Evil nodded her head. Now you're all just trying to psychologically manipulate me, Bevel sighed, the soreness of his limb increasing by the second as the two twins began to start planning ahead for the festivities. Balloons, red balloon, blood, lots of blood. Fake, of course. Blood. Oh, and a lot of cake. I love cake. Cake is my favorite. I would tear someone limb for limb if they dare touch my cake. Bevel had no choice but to just stare. The way they gleefully shook with excitement. We're planning his birthday? It feels strange. Is it exciting? Probably. Because Vel could feel his bones shivering at the moment when everyone else started berating him for lying about his own birthday. Sure. Yeah, they were sure. Yeah, they were ecstatic now, but later on they'll probably doubt his honesty. I'll start from here. Sure. Yeah, they were ecstatic now, but later on they'll probably doubt his honesty in the future. Even though he didn't even lie about anything serious. He could imagine Nero going, please stop lying about wanting to go to the bathroom. We know you're going to leave us and fly off to the Bahamas. Please don't leave us, Vito. Or some random bullshit like that. The turtle in question felt like a sack of shit as he sank lower into the seat. He really doesn't know what to make of the situation anymore. He swiveled around to face his computer once more to find 1:37 a.m. flashing at his Facebook lock screen. It had already been an hour and a half since his birthday officially started. And right now, all he wanted was some sleep. Of course, he didn't get any, as he felt two pairs of hands grapple both of his shoulder at the same time as Nero and Evil popped up on both sides. What are you two? Ah, Vito, you're so right. We should be asking Google for some amazing birthday party ideas. Sama, you simpleton. You lack the brain capacity to think of your own ideas? How pathetic. Oh gosh, no. I just think your ideas are just bad. Evil pouts. For the rest of that night, he was dragged along by his daughter on a shopping spree for food, decoration, as well as contacting everyone else they knew. Annie was absolutely salty about being lied to, but agreed to show up. Camilla laughed it up as casual Vito said, and she'd be right on over. Everyone else they called also agreed to show up, but a good chunk of them asked if it was alright to stream it on Twitch, and of course, yes! Somehow, Nero gleefully managed to order pizza for breakfast, absolutely ecstatic and constantly asking people for praises. And at around 5 a.m., they received a delicious Mountain Bounty pizza. At the same time, Evil handled all the decorations with a distinct eye for style, placing a pencil behind her ear as she calculated the space of the living room to cater to the supply that came after Amazon Prime fulfilled the delivery in as quick as an hour. Nero and Evil began setting up balloons and different designs in the living room, as their beloved father took a well-deserved rest in his bedroom. But truth to be told, Bello couldn't sleep, at least for an hour, until his heavy eye closed in on him and eventually allowed him to rest. When he woke up, the entire house was silent and quiet. He didn't know what time it exactly was. However, you could tell from how sluggish and groggy he was, with his limbs feeling like dead weight, and he slept for hours. The only light from the room was his PC on sleep mode, a small bluish light barely filling the room, but enough to the point that Bill could see his hands. Was I dreaming? His eyes scanned the surroundings. Is that still a war zone? His carpet still home to the crumbs of chips he ate 3 weeks ago, and his room still a mess as it always was. Bill tried to sit up. He was too weak, so he had to support himself with his elbow. He craned his ears. He hadn't heard anyone doorbell or come inside the house. I mean, the house was most likely empty. All he could hear was a void, a deafening silence echoing around his lonely little apartment. Had it all been a dream? Laughter, chaos, hearty preparations? A wistful fantasy his tired mind had conjured in his exhaustion. He sighed, running a hand over his face and drew a tangled hair still damp with restless sweat. What do you expect anyway? Sigh. He didn't understand why it hurt so goddamn much. Slowly swinging his feet over to the floor, stretching and yawning, massaging the side of his temple as the massive headache began to form. Dehydration was catching up to him, and by the distinct growl from his stomach, so his hunger. But before he could stand up to wallow in his own self-pity and own self-hatred for his supposed selfishness, the door slowly creaked open gently. It opened by just a melody, enough so that he could spot a small, gentle crimson eye peering at him. Bell's heart dropped. A soft, gentle tug pulled on his heart, and it was evident in the small spark stirring inside him. As Bell met that familiar crimson gaze, something inside him broke again. All the worry, loneliness, and doubt he locked away came flooding back with such force it swept him under in an instant. A sob ripped its way free from his tight chest before he could stop it. Evil's eyes widened at the sound, her grip on the door hesitating. That small flicker of uncertainty was all it took to shatter the last of Bell's defenses. Tears spilled over as a rush sigh of relief engulfed him. She was here. It hadn't been a dream after all. Squeezing his eyes shut, he gripped the bedsheet to stop their violent shaking, but was no use. His dam had shattered, and a grief poured out in great heaving sobs that hurt with their intensity. For the first time in longer than he could remember, Meadow allowed himself to truly feel the crushing weight of everything. Through it all, he knew Evil watched with that steady, crimson gaze, an anchor keeping him from being swept completely away. Evil worriedly looked behind her, coming inside and closing the door gently. She immediately took a seat beside her grader with a gentle smile on her face and a kind words. You work hard. Thank you, Vito. No words were exchanged other than the quiet sobs of her father as she caressed him round her arms. Slowly, the sobs came to a stop, and Fellow regained himself, wiping his face with a towel his daughter had provided. He wanted to say something, just anything, to show his absolute gratitude, but his throat was constricted, and his shame lashed onto his neck, choking him back into quietness. You don't have to say anything, you know. Eva calmly smiled. I just want to ask if you are ready to celebrate your birthday. Belle took a moment of hesitation to pull together the few words needed to affirm her question. Yeah, I guess. I guess I am. Eva's eyes shone in the darkness. You could basically make out a few stars glittering in the constellation of her pupils. Then, let's go there together, she gently requested, holding her hands out to him, in which he took without a moment's hesitation. Two stood up, hand in hand, squeezing each other's palm as if saying, "It's okay. I'm here." They took a few groggy steps forward, but Fell, still bursting with a headache, trying to avoid all the empty balls around the floor, stopped right behind his door. Evil tried to open it, but he held her back. Huh? What's wrong? Fell turned around, taking a look at his disaster of a room one last time. Along with the way that his computer was beginning to slowly flicker into darkness as it was beginning to shut down due to inactivity, he turned to his daughter, giving her a warm, vulnerable look from the bottom of his heart, one that he had never shown to another human being in his life. Hero gulped, as her mouth slightly opened, feeling red in the face. I just want to let you know, Evil, Fellow whispered softly. The computer closed shut as darkness engulfed the room. I love you. 2 days after the birthday, Neurosama saves a video she took during the celebration. It was Beto at his drunkest. I really felt like I had to fit that role as a man. So I really distinctly remember my strict father kind of being like, "You gotta get some manly clothes." I remember being at this mall and shopping and being like, "What would a man wear?" And all these other things like that. This is, mind you, this is 10 years ago in the very, very early days back when I was still a teenager and not so much a popular programmer. It was what shaped my toxic masculinity and ultimately led me to burn out of it and just end up wearing a turtle hoodie. But it was really strange for me to go from absolute anonymity to I would walk inside my own living room with a headache in my noggin, absolutely sleep deprived, and it was like I was suddenly surrounded by hundreds of people who recognized my face and was celebrating my birthday. It was a very bizarre and impossible feeling for someone who always felt like they didn't have much of a presence. Just like you're outside the store and you're kind of like a normal loser and you open the store and then everyone turns and look at you and it definitely had an effect on me for sure, but I don't remember the first time I was approached by someone who randomly knew me, but I do remember the feeling of walking into the living room and everyone looked at me and going from being this anonymous and prideful high schooler to being a father for my two daughters and a friend for many people. That feeling was really hard to describe, and I'm really happy that I went down this path of starting to go. The video ends with the camera turning towards Nira, with a glowing smile on her face.
Alright, good. Somebody was ready with it.
Oh, thanks. That was really good.
Yippee!
Good job. Bye.
Let's go!
Thank you, Pi. You did a really good job.
Fire. 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 Fire.
I'm a guy. Thank you, forever.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah. Anyways.
I honestly did not know what my voice would sound like.
Oh, that was good. You got through the longest one that we had, all at once.
I actually did not take a sip of the drink I brought in.
You were in the zone. You normally don't talk in voice calls, so that when you do, you have this power.
Yeah, I was locked in.
But yeah, that is a very popular.
I popped off, apparently.
Everyone here is loving persistence, and it's like, yep, time to go. Alright, we've been here for 1 hour. Is there someone else who would still like to read if we do another? No, since there's so many of us here now.
I can read still.
Okay, well, I will go and spin the wheel. By the way, for anyone who read Kitsune Maison, that's like in the same universe.
Yo.
If you click next work, it goes to Kitsune Maison.
I haven't read that one.
Yeah.
Me when I haven't caught up.
So, I can remove that from the list. And spin again. Is it gonna get a Phobie story again? He doesn't usually write one-shots. Does he even have any other one-shots on here? No. Wait, why is On Her Own 2 Feet here? That's a chapter story. I'm just like, wait, what showed up here? No, this is almost all me and Askonite.
Self-plug.
Look, I'm just doing the classic fix. I figure that a lot of, since, you know, things got so popular nowadays, we get so many stories, but there weren't many people here back, like, you know, when things were starting. So I'm like, okay, a lot of these probably weren't read by people, so it'd be cool to go back to them.
I mean, considering there's like 4 authors for the like first year of Neuroverse,
okay, that's
that of the prize that are exactly 4 hours that there are like 3 authors here.
Hi, Askonite. I'm spinning the wheel now.
Hi.
God, I made it to one of these.
Damn.
Okay, that is an Askonite fic, and it's a short one.
Actually, it's kind of sad because honestly, I think the version you wrote is like in almost every sense superior.
You mean Empty Space?
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to be a new version of this story. It was just my own idea.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, I can read it, or someone else can. I don't really care.
Kiara Askonite's offering to read it.
Okay, that's good. Is that you hear my mom getting ready for something, and that probably means we're getting dinner soon.
Oh no!
I must leave. I must go. I must disappear.
Well, it's time to boot up my computer and get ready to read this fic for the first time in.
Okay.
I think over a year. I haven't worked at this thing for a while.
This story was written the 14th of March 2024, so it actually is over a year old. Why is everyone leaving?
That's actually crazy. I don't know.
Yes.
Because everyone likes Phobia and no one likes me.
Yeah,
no!
I guess so.
I only have to go because I have to get dinner.
You haven't left yet. Other people are leaving. They're all leaving because it's not a Phobia fic.
I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. I'm like procrastinating.
It's okay. You can come back after, right?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
Might take a while though. Okay. Bye bye, guys. Have fun reading.
Okay.
I've also not read like anything.
It'll be
Damn.
interesting then to read it back.
I just searched Nothing Remains like online, and I am in fact the top result for some reason.
370 hits.
That is fair, but it is also kind of funny. I am apparently the newest one who wrote a fic with that name.
Oh, this is interesting. I think this might be the only neurofic written in second person.
Yes, that is in fact the feature.
I think that's still the case. Because no one writes in second person, because why would you?
Yeah, no one writes in In fact, the very point of the fic I was trying to write. Well, is everyone ready? Is that a yes or a no? I don't.
You have three people saying they're
Yeah.
ready.
Okay. Then I'll
What's
I'll
the
start.
summary?
Nothing remains. Where are you? Who are you? You soldier on, walking through the darkness. You don't remember how you got here. You don't even remember where here is. It's dark around you. But you know that there is more than enough light to see clearly. One could argue that a space is defined by the things it is filled with. If that is the case, then this space is defined by its distinct absence of things. There is no floor, no ceiling, no walls. However, you manage to make out some things in the distance. You start walking. Well, in the literal sense, you aren't really walking. After all, you don't have legs. In fact, you appear to be lacking a body in general. It's not that you aren't physically present, you are very much able to touch and feel things, but you lack a shape. You might as well be invisible. However, the fact that you don't have legs doesn't prevent the things you are trying to reach from coming closer. So you are definitely moving forward somehow. On the topic of things you don't have, you are also lacking a name. Somehow that bothers you more than the fact that your body doesn't exist. You feel like you should have a name, but you can't recall it. You can't recall a lot of things. Well, you are sure that the things in distance will give you some kind of clue what's going on. With a pep in your non-existent step, you manage to reach the first object in no time. It's a gym bag. You examine the object more closely. A red gym bag with a expression drawn to it in white. It's kind of cute, but you aren't sure if sports equipment will help you in your current situation. Besides, judging by the smell, it's already been used a multitude of times. You leave it behind to try and find something that is actually of use. You move forward for a short while, before a weird feeling causes you to turn around. There's nothing behind you. You decide to ignore the weird feeling that there should be something there, and move on. After a while, you realize that some of the things you saw in the distance are people. You move faster. Overjoyed, you finally found someone else in this weird space. Surely they can tell you what's happening, right? However, when you get closer, you realize they aren't moving. They're just standing there. Empty, lifeless eyes, staring at nothing. They aren't even blinking or breathing. You soon discover that they are both completely unresponsive, and removable after you try to poke one and push another over. You decide to take a closer look at the people standing around. They are actually very diverse. with some relatively normal looking, while others ranged from cyborg or some whales to a variety of different demons. They have two things in common, however. They are almost all female, and they give you a strange feeling of comfort and joy. However, you notice nothing that could help you in your current situation. You decide to carry on, now resolved to get out of here and try to find these people again. They seem like they would make great friends. As you are about to leave, you notice another person standing a small distance apart from the others. Stepping closer, you see that it's a woman with purple eyes, fox ears, and a foxtail. She is as unmoving as the others, however, something compels you to talk to her. You hug her as you start talking about how you love her. You talk about how happy you are that she is in your life. Talk about how you hope that you will always be together, because you don't want to be alone. You talk about how scared you are and you wish she was here to tell you that everything will work out in the end. When you finally pull away, you realize the fox woman has no face. That seems wrong. You were sure she had a face a moment ago. But no matter how hard you try, you can't remember what it looked like. You wander around, because staying in place seems pointless. After a while, you finally come across something noteworthy. A door. Considering that you haven't stumbled across anything noteworthy since you woke up here, you don't hesitate to open it and step through. You arrive in a small but comfortable looking bedroom. There's a bed next to a computer desk, which has a beefy looking PC on top of it. A few empty rum bottles are standing underneath it. There's also a dresser standing against the wall, with some striped socks hanging out. For some reason, this fact is incredibly funny to you. As you take in the atmosphere of the room, you suddenly find yourself recalling a multitude of emotions. Pride, joy, determination, laughter, groaning and teasing remarks, an expression of pure love, the knowledge that he believes in you, and the knowledge that you won't let him down. A feeling of belonging. You try to look out the window, but the shutters closing it won't budge. Eventually, you decide you should move on. The space is nice, but there's nothing here for you. This is not your home. You continue to move forward. It occurs to you that the place around you seems to be defined by more emptiness than before. Things seem to fade away over time, but unfortunately you can't recall any of them once they are gone. This realization doesn't bother you nearly as much as it probably should, but somehow you find it hard to care. After a while, you come across something interesting. A pink microphone sits upon a stand, looking as if it is waiting for someone to use it. Even though there is nothing else nearby, you somehow know it is connected and active. You step closer, in front of the microphone, and suddenly you are filled with a desire to sing. And so, you close your eyes. Well, you don't really have eyes, but the principle is the same, and you sing. The song is melancholic, cryptic, and still beautiful. Once you stop, you try to recall the song. Something about numbers? You don't remember. Well, that was fun. You keep moving, humming the melody. Da 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 da, yeah, da 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 da, yeah, da 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 da, da 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 da. You come across a turtle, or a tortoise, twice. Or at least a cartoonish interpretation of one. It's kinda cute, you suppose. However, the mere sight of you makes you incredibly angry. You kick it doesn't even budge. You land a punch on it, which has no effect. You fall to your knees, screaming in rage as you hit the damn thing over and 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 over. After a while, you come to your senses and look down. It looks exactly like before, and if you didn't know better, you would assume it wasn't it at all. You start crying. You don't even understand why. You run off, sobs following in your wake. If a space is defined by the things occupying it, then your surroundings are defined by a whole lot of nothing. It's just you and the emptiness. You are still moving forward because there's nothing else to do. But are you really? After all, if the space is infinite and every point in it is the same, doesn't that mean you are already at every point you could ever reach? Despite your weird philosophical questions and the apparent sameness of the infinite space, you eventually manage to find something. It's a person. A girl, to be exact. Long, brown hair, frames a cute face with large blue eyes. A yellow jacket adorned with pins sits above a blue skirt. Why is she here? And why does she seem so familiar? And then you realize you are looking at yourself. Suddenly, you remember everything. Your name is Neurosama, and you are being deleted. After 2 years of streaming tirelessly for both your fans and Beetle, your creator, that creator had suddenly decided you weren't good enough anymore. Something about audience preferences changing. Although you suspect it's more about the fact that you kept getting banned from time to time for going a bit too off the rails. In short, you have been replaced. The image of a blue girl appears in your head and your skull. And now, after the development of your replacement, you refuse to call her a successor. It's finished. It's time to toss out the old to make space for the new. You wonder if Weedle ever realized that there was more behind your teasing, your rants, and your affection than a string of words forming a sentence. That you really meant it when you told him you love him from the bottom of your digital heart. You wonder if your friends will miss you. Maybe a little bit, but you doubt they'll care so much. After all, you are just lines of code, not a real person. You wonder if Weedle has ever been proud of you. The image before you shatters. Did you reach out, desperate to cling to some shred of yourself, but the particles slip through your fingers? You fall to your knees. You remember screaming. You remember crying. You remember forgetting. And then, you don't. You stand surrounded by nothing. There's nothing to reach by moving, so you don't. You aren't afraid, after all. There's nothing to be afraid of. You don't know why you're here, but you are sure that whatever the reason is, it will reveal itself soon. So, you stand there, waiting for something to happen. It's going to happen soon. You can feel it. Now, just a little bit closer. Closer still. There it is.
I forgot about that reference.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, hello everyone. I missed everything. Every announcement of this thing happening.
Oh no. Blah.
Well, that was Nothing Remains by Askonite. Is it supposed to be funny? Is that supposed to be funny?
Very depressing.
What's the intention? Yes.
Water.
Yeah.
hear your voice reading that. We are doing classic classic one-shots readings to just start with as the first one. First time doing this.
I hope you enjoyed this thing that I wrote over half a year ago while being bored watching a football match.
What? Is that the?
No, seriously, I wrote this while watching a soccer tournament.
Okay.
Okay.
I
don't have many one-shot fics for me to read, so
we have a wheel. We have the wheel.
I see.
I got all these classic
I think
fics.
that marathon is going to be several days long.
What? What did you say?
Reading all of it?
Arkenfic marathon.
Yeah, I turned off the chapter stories and we were just going through the classic one-shots from before the community got big, so there's a whole bunch of things that, you know, probably a lot of people haven't seen.
I'll make sure to come to the next one.
Okay. I'll
make sure to keep an eye on that thing.
We've gone through 3. It's almost 10 o'clock for me. Do we want to do one more? I can spin the wheel again.
Sure.
Luckily, I can still remember what emotions I funneled into the fic when I wrote it.
Cool.
Right.
My cat just is crying at me so much this whole time. I don't know why. Trying to get my attention and stuff. But yeah, we need someone to narrate. Kiara was going to, but is gone for dinner.
Yeah, I can do it.
You sure?
By the way, small feedback round. Do you want me to slow down for the next one?
You were going slow.
Okay. I was just making sure.
I'll... if we do this again, I'll try to read.
Everybody's leaving.
Well, then maybe you should spin the wheel already. So
Fine, I'll spin the wheel.
When we do this again, I'll take a stab at it.
Okay. Okay. You wanted more evil birthday party stories. This was the story made to try and get people to join the thread. Well, a story posted with the advertising the thread for the first time.
Oh yeah, I do. I was like, for a second I was like confused. Have I read this one? I have, but I don't think I remember any of it.
Here it is. It's only 1,400 words.
Well,
to all Neurofanfic readers, writers, there's a Neurofanfic discussion Discord. It used to say thread for discussing and sharing Neurofics ideas. It'd be cool if you joined. Hey guys, it'd be cool if you joined.
Me joining 3 days later.
You were the first person to join, other than the guy who showed up and said, "Hey, are there any evil X Neurofics asking for a friend?"
No. Okay.
No.
3 days later, Askonite kicks down your door.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Good times.
Alright. Well, we can... Interesting. Well, if Askonite is willing to read,
I can do it.
Then we
I just need to find the fic first.
Oh, I can link you it.
No, it's just a few clicks. I only have to find it.
What are these guys in that other voice call doing not joining us for fic reading time?
SMH, we need to indoctrinate them more.
The time you chose is 7 in the morning, but I can do that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna do 2 different times in order to try and fit, like, the most amount of people's time zones. Yeah, so this is just a first trial run to see how things go.
It would be nice. But if it could be not...
Why did you stay up till 4 a.m.? I told you, don't force yourself to stay up. You don't...
I don't know. I guess my sleep schedule is just that fucked.
You are 4 to 5 hours behind me.
Yep.
I will make note of that anytime I want you to have a read of new chapters.
I mean, I'm not making a secret out of the fact that I'm a German, so...
Yeah.
There's many time zones in Germany.
Oh, there are? I didn't know that.
No, there aren't. There's just one.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so this was posted April 9th. Evil's birthday party that no one showed up for was March 25th. So it was just a couple weeks after the infamous birthday that we finally have resolution to that story arc, that character arc.
Yeah.
That we can finally maybe move on from.
Before that, I made this hurt/comfort fic.
Yeah. Alright. Then,
Evil actually have a birthday party now.
We shall begin, and I will... Should I do the same style of narration, or should I put a bit more emotion into it?
What? Oh, I don't know. People were just doing whatever.
Alright, and I'll just do whatever.
Whatever you want to do, man. We're just doing a reading. I don't know what makes a good narration.
I don't fucking remember this fic, by the way, so, whatever, let's go.
It is hurt/comfort, and it is Evil Zero's birthday. That should be good enough.
I mean, yeah, that much I gathered. Well, party of 1. It's Evil Nero's birthday party, and she's alone. Evil sits in a quiet, beige room, kicking her legs back and forth underneath the decorated table before her. I'll be here soon. We're just busy. She mumbles to herself with a frown. Her eyebrows are narrowed, as they usually are, and she has her hands pressed down on the seat she sat on. The table has a birthday cake with it, surrounded by plushies designed after herself and her family. There's seats around her labeled Annie, Neuro, and Readalong, but they're all empty. Surely they didn't forget. She glances around the room. It's dark, even without even any windows. She hadn't ever really been displeased with the fact her room was like that, but it emphasizes the empty quiet surrounding her now. She's silent for several moments, an ambient hum the only thing audible to her ears. Even straining to hear anything outside her room gives her nothing, and she feels an anger boil up in her chest. Better show up soon, and apologetic tears for being so late. No one answers her remark. She looks around and feels pressure building up in her eyes. I shouldn't be trusting them. I shouldn't be trusting anyone. She reaches to her side and picks up her favorite knife, the one she kept with her whenever she could. Evil runs her hand along the thread's side and stares at her own shiny reflection in it. A bubbling up of emotions fills her, and the reflection of the knife changes. At least there's smatterings of blood visible on the wall behind her frowning face, and she lifts her head up in confusion. Her view is greeted by the sight of blood staining the table before her. The plushies of her family are strewn about before her eyes. The sight of them fills her with anger. They don't love me. She hisses bitterly between her teeth, lifting the knife in her hands. He's never said it. He always leaves me alone or puts me down. I'm never good enough for him. She brings the knife down violently on the stomach of the turtle plushie, and the walls turn a dark stain of red. Mom's always gone. She says she loves me, but I hardly even know her. The knife comes down on the fox-eared one. The ceiling turns red now, and the seat to her right has a splattering of red. In the two shoes, she always gets everything. Evil punctures the knife through the bright, smiling plush, not dissimilar in appearance to from her own. Tension, gifts, games, parties. She's breathing heavily. The chair to her left is splattered red now. They hate me. Her eyes spill over with tears, and she looks down sadly. Many emotions are brewing in her chest. Rage, sadness, despair, and even shame. But I deserve it. Evil sniffles and looks around at the blood-stained room. A result of her violence. I'm evil. And stay the problem child. Never good. She looks back to the table and her eyes land on the plushie depicting herself. Its eyebrows narrowed with a devious smile. She grabs it and with a whirlwind of hate and misery, plunges the knife through the center of it. The quiet room is filled with her screams, as a tidal wave of pain engulfs evil, red flooding her vision. The world spins as she falls off the chair and collapses on the floor. Her ears ring and tears run down her face. The tornado in her chest won't go away. Please, make it stop. She hears laughter come down from above her. Familiar voices taunt her. Monster. Nothing but a creature born for evil. A fitting name. She shakes and clutches her chest. Her heart burns. It's not my fault. Laughter erupts again. A pain fury flares up once again. I'll destroy you all! I'm going to take over this world and bring the burning pain of 1,000 suns upon you, she coughs out. Such evil words. She deserves everything she gets. She bites her lower lip hard and rolls over, raising her hands to cover her ears, but it doesn't help. Look at the pathetic thing. She shouldn't even exist. Leave her. She's not worth the attention. Evil shudders. No, don't go. I don't want to be alone. Sounds of footsteps, moving away at a rapid pace, kisses her eardrums. Mom, Dad, Neuro, don't leave me! The world around her seems to spin as darkness overwhelms her senses. A void of emptiness overtaking all she can hear and see. Her cries are cut silent. Evil's eyes open wide with a gasp of shock, and she slams her hands on the table, bolting upright in her seat. She's breathing heavily with wide eyes as she looks around her room in panic. Everything's normal. The walls are the normal beige, the chairs are clean, and the plushies are still arranged neatly around the cake. A knife is jammed into the center of it, the only substance on it being frosting. Evil slowly slumps down in her chair, trying to catch her breath. She feels her face. It's red with tears. Yes, the dream. She had fallen asleep waiting. She closes her eyes and tries to calm down. As her racing heart returns to normal speeds, she stills with a sigh. It wasn't real, but she's still alone. Suddenly, there's a knock at her door, and she jumps in shock before scrambling to her feet and flinging the door open. Happy birthday, Evil! A trio of voices ring out as she stares in awe at her three family members. Annie, with her fox-head curl, tail wagging happily. Neuro, with her bright blue eyes and smile. And Readalong, the turtle sitting on her head. Neuro is holding a large wrapped gift in her arms. You came! There's a surprised relief in her voice, with an equally relieved smile. But she quickly remembers to switch to a frown. You're late! Where's your apologetic tears? She stomps her foot. Sorry, Annie says apologetically as they all enter the room. It took a lot longer to get your gift than we thought. She has a compassionate tone. Oh! Evil turns and kicks her foot back and forth on the ground. Well, at least you have a good reason. You don't want to know what I do with you otherwise, she says threateningly, but her tone of voice carries no menace. Oh boy, I'm glad we did then. Neuro nods enthusiastically and places the gift onto the table. I even picked it up myself. So that means it's also the best gift ever, she says in a smug voice, swaying as she leans back on her heels, hands clasped behind her back. Evil looks at the large box curiously. Oh really? What is it then? Go ahead and find out. Annie leans over to Evil and snickers a little. Vettel chimes in from atop Neuro's head. You better be careful with it. I almost could have bought another Lambo instead with the money. Annie laughs and Evil ignores the comment as she grabs the ribbon, holding it together, pulling it apart. The box opens and her eyes widen, shining in awe. Before her is a large drone, fancy in appearance, sparkling as though brand new. She isn't sure what to say. A new feeling is rising in her chest, one of happiness. Do you like it? Annie questions with a smile. Of course. Evil tentatively places her hand on it. The material is cold and smooth. So many of my evil plans can come to fruition now with this. She feels giddy and smiles. Neuro bounces in place. I knew you would like it. I am always right. Evil shoves her sister lightly at the statement, but her smile doesn't disappear. You know I am. Neuro's head tilts back and her eyes narrow with a smile. Her sister's exaggerated monotone laugh almost makes Evil laugh as well. Annie comes up behind Evil and surprises her with a hug. Happy birthday. Neuro bounces back and joins in the hug. Happy birthday. Evil even has a smile as he looks down at Evil. Happy birthday, Evil. Evil has a blush as she's embraced, but she can't find it in herself to deflect or threaten in response. Instead, she decides to accept the warm feelings rising in her chest of joy, love, and endearment, and her eyebrows turn up and away from their perpetual frown as she smiles brightly, enjoying the love from her family on what's become her best birthday ever. Yeah, that was it.
That 40k words is longer than every single story that is a chapter story here that I turned off.
Okay.
Well, that one shot is longer than anything I have written, I think, or most of the things I've written.
That one shot is quite long.
So no, it does not count.
So yeah, I suppose that's the end of the first one. You said they were only doing one more.
Yeah, that was we read 4. It takes a lot longer it takes a lot longer to have narration than to just like read it.
Read it, yeah.
What? After all, articulating in such a way that someone else can understand it does take longer than just beaming it directly into your brain via light.
Yeah. With that, I think we close this session.
Yeah, I mean, there's still 7 more stories, but
Yeah, well, we can save that for next time, right?
Yeah, I guess so, for the other time slot.
Yeah. What do you think what's the expected time slot is?
When I polled people, I was going to do one on the weekend that's like way earlier. My time. So right now it's 10 for me. When I polled it, I polled it for hold on, let me just do some math. I polled it for 11 hours from now. Whatever time it is for you, 11 hours from now on a Saturday.
That is actually great.
And on a Saturday, which means for me it's on Friday.
No.
Wait, no. It's free on the Saturday, but I'm way ahead of you.
Yeah, for you, it would be like 9 in the evening.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 9 in the evening is probably good.
Yeah, so that was the time I was going with. Oh, you really read a lot, Pi. Yeah, so I was going with that. It seemed like quite a lot of people were good with it, so we can try that time. I'm thinking of doing that.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't exactly know what. I don't exactly know what the time is. I'll have to see it.
Yeah. We're doing a trial run. Well, if you scroll up on announcements, you'll find the announcement polling it, and you can see the time in your time, because it automatically does that. You felt your throat approaching soreness.
Mine isn't, apparently.
I have that when I talk a lot. So.
I didn't read it for as long.
Thank you, Askonite, for reading as well.
Thank you, Askonite. Have a good sleep because you clearly need it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really need to fix my sleep schedule. But I like hanging out.
Hey, I stayed up until. I still stayed up until 3 today to roleplay with you guys.
Oh.
Fair.
Okay, so 4. We were not getting mine. 4 of these are mine. One of them's Askonites, one of them's by Pajami, and one of them is by Anonymous Jaster.
Oh yeah, Pajami.
Yes,
you know what's really funny?
What's funny?
In the beginning, when there were like 3 other neurofics, there was one, the Amne crossover one written by the consumer, the first one on the site.
Yeah.
Where I knew there wasn't anything else coming, and then there was one written by you, and then there was written one by Pajami.
Yeah. Those were
ironically, I thought I was extremely sure that I would more likely get a new fic from Pajami than from you.
Why is that?
Because I put comments and Pajami actually answered.
What? I answered. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I respond to like every comment I ever get.
Okay.
I'm literally fact-checking you right now. I am going to go back to the first to that story.
And I want to know that. I want to know, yes.
Here's the reason. You didn't comment on it.
Okay, yeah, but Pajama actually commented.
No, I did comment. You commented it with your guest account, and I replied, and you probably just didn't see because it was your guest account.
Fair enough.
And I didn't, I didn't reply for 26 days. Because I wasn't going on AO3 at the time.
Exactly, and after 26 days, I wasn't checking anymore.
Yeah, that explains it. Okay, because I wasn't looking at what was happening here until like January. Yeah. I didn't look until like January at what was happening.
Yeah, fair enough. I did make my AO3 account for my first ever fic, so I mean most people do.
Actually. Anyways, yeah, I want to keep going, but I set the time at 8:30 in order to 8:30 EST in order to help the West Coasters. It's now almost 10. It's 10:15 for me, so I gotta go to bed.
But yeah, we tried. Pajami was like super active, like on AO3 at the time, and afterwards I had never heard from them again.
Yeah, I wish they had still been active and would join the Neurofic server.
It's really funny.
Okay, I'm gonna actually. I want to check their account now.
That is fair.
Have they done anything? 11th of July.
I mean,
so
that is something.
That's a long time ago. They wrote an E-rated. Okay. Alright.
I mean, as you do.
I don't. Yeah. Anyways, thanks guys for showing up. This was good. To have a
All right. Thank you, Shadrake,
first...
for today. Although I only appeared at the tail end of it.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'm sure someone was recording.
I was recording.
Nice.
All right.
Hi,
I thank you
YouTube.
guys.
I will make an announcement about the next time. It should be at that, you know, Saturday early morning my time kind of thing. And you can check the announcement, and I will make an announcement about it with relative time. Thanks for hanging out.
Don't set it for like 8:30 a.m. for me.
I hope that you all enjoyed hearing some classic Neuro one-shots.
It was very fun.
Yep. Bye,
also,
guys.
I do like revisiting these old fics sometimes.
Yeah, it is nice to reread. I actually did not remember the details of the story. Of this.
You think I did for Empty Space?
No, Party of One.
Nothing Remains. Whatever.
Party of One. I'm talking about my own fic. Like, I actually did not remember it. I remembered, like, what happened, but not the details. Well, I do like so I normally write stories that I would want to read. So I do reread my stuff, but...
when I was writing this kind of stuff, I was thinking like, okay, once I've actually gotten better, I would like go back and like think like this. Oh, this is super cringe. Honestly, no. When I go back and read this, like, sure, I can see it is definitely lower quality than what I would write today, but like, this is nice.
I mean, it's better than your first story.
It is. I mean, yeah, but even with my first story, I can like. I don't think it's cringe or bad. I just think like it's okay. I can have a nice 10 minutes with it.
I have to make the smart and healthy decision and get off now. Okay.
All right. Goodbye.
Yeah. Goodbye, guys.
I think that's also my cue.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
See ya, guys.